Law enforcement officers today are faced with many new challenges, ranging from high-level threats by homegrown radical extremists to active shooter incidents and acts of terrorism by heavily armed individuals. In response to this increased threat, many federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies have approved the use of rifles by their patrol officers, who are tasked with engaging these individuals as soon as they arrive on scene. The overwhelming weapon of choice for these patrol rifles is the AR-15 rifle or carbine. The AR-15 is ideally suited for law enforcement use, as it can be easily configured for multiple applications, including patrol rifles, sniper rifles, or special unit carbines with short barrels. However, the weak link of the AR-15 rifle is the weapon's .223 Remington cartridge, which uses a tiny .22 caliber bullet that has limited energy and is easily defeated by intermediate barriers such as walls, doors, windows, and automobile doors and windshields. Modern-day adversaries are opting to carry more powerful weapons, like the Kalashnikov AK-47 rifle or AK-style rifles. These rifles and the ammunition they use are cheap, plentiful, and easily obtained. The AK fires the powerful 7.62 by 39 mm cartridge. Law enforcement officers armed with AR-15 patrol rifles engaging adversaries armed with AK-47 rifles are outgunned in terms of muzzle energy and terminal performance. Law enforcement .223 Remington ammunition delivers an average of 1,027 foot-pounds of energy when fired from a 16-inch barrel. The AK-47's cartridge delivers 1,445 foot-pounds of energy with its heavy .30 caliber bullet, delivering 40% more energy than the average load carried by our law enforcement officers. Regardless of the load used, the .223 Remington cartridge cannot match the energy delivered by the AK's cartridge. What is needed is a cartridge that offers increased performance at all distances, has manageable recoil, maintains a 30-round magazine capacity, is easily adaptable to the existing weapon and its components, and is cost-effective. The Kramer Defense 6.8 by 45 mm Urban Combat cartridge is that cost-effective performance upgrade for the AR-15 M4 weapon system. The Kramer 6.8 was designed using the existing .223 Remington cartridge case and uses a larger 270 caliber 6.8 mm projectile with weights of 110 and 115 grains and a proprietary propellant. This revolutionary cartridge delivers an average muzzle velocity of 2,500 feet per second from a 16-inch barrel, generating 1,596 foot-pounds of energy. That's 55% more muzzle energy than the .223 Remington from a 16-inch barrel and 10% more muzzle energy than the AK-47's 7.62 by 39 mm cartridge fired from its 16-inch barrel. Many law enforcement officers today choose to use short-barreled carbines with 10.5-inch barrels. These short-barreled carbines are preferred because they are easier to manipulate while entering or exiting vehicles, or maneuvering in tight places inside of buildings, stairwells, and other confined spaces. However, the decreased performance delivered from these short-barreled carbines is often overlooked by the law enforcement community. They deliver less velocity and less muzzle energy than their 16-inch counterparts. Officers armed with these short-barreled carbines are at a greater disadvantage when having to engage suspects outside, at a distance, behind intermediate barriers, or in vehicles. The Kramer 6.8 UCC delivers an average muzzle velocity of 2,300 feet per second from a 10.5-inch barrel, generating 1,350 foot-pounds of energy. That's 66% more muzzle energy than the .223 Remington from a 10.5-inch barrel. Due to the Kramer 6.8 UCC's use of the .223 Remington cartridge case, an existing AR-15, .223 Remington caliber rifle, or upper receiver group requires only a barrel change to utilize the 6.8 by 45 mm cartridge. All of the remaining components of the weapon are compatible with the Kramer 6.8. Departments and agencies on restricted budgets need only purchase Kramer 6.8 upper receiver groups for their existing weapons, avoiding the expense of replacing existing weapon inventories and spare parts. This quick change capability allows departments and agencies to train with their existing .223 Remington caliber weapons and quickly upgrade to the Kramer 6.8 for deployment or duty use. The Kramer 6.8 uses standard military 30-round aluminum magazines that have been redesigned internally to allow for proper feeding of the 6.8 caliber cartridge with its larger neck. These magazines hold 30 rounds and will also function reliably with .223 Remington ammunition. The threat to local, state, and federal law enforcement officers from heavily armed adversaries is increasing daily and shows no signs of easing up. The Kramer Defense 6.8 by 45 mm urban combat cartridge gives law enforcement officers the tactical edge they need to protect the public and officers alike. The Kramer Defense 6.8 by 45 mm UCC offers the best trade-off balance of increased terminal performance, cartridge size, projectile weight and velocity, weapon compatibility, magazine capacity, manageable recoil, and 0 to 600 yard performance. It truly is the ultimate intermediate caliber cartridge for the AR-15 M4 weapon system. The Kramer Defense 6.8 by 45 mm urban combat cartridge. Chamber performance.